What's going on, everybody? My name is Josh Washburn of Washburn Fabco, and today we're going to be testing out a new media in my parts tumbler. This parts tumbler is definitely the best way to go about cleaning parts that come off the plasma table. I've been doing it for a couple months now. If you haven't seen my first video of the initial setup of the machine, go ahead and check that out. I'll leave a link in the description below. The setup I'm using for parts tumbling is just one of these cheap cement mixers from Harbor Freight, and I've been just using gravel in it, and it cleans pretty good. It'll take the small parts down to no mill scale whatsoever, and on more complicated parts you just got to leave them in there a lot longer, but it still gets most of the stuff off of them. In the other video I said I was going to try out some other medias and see what happens, so I had one guy recommend coal slag to me. He said he uses those to clean up parts before powder coating instead of sandblasting them. He does the same exact thing. He has the same cement mixer and everything. So we're going to throw in some black diamond coal slag. Then I'm going to cut out some parts on the table and we'll throw them in there and see how it does. So I got that all set up out there. It is rather dusty compared to what I was doing before with just the gravel, and I kind of put some water in there and it would be like a mud almost. And then all I did for the cleanup was put them in a bucket, spray them with a hose, and blow them off with air. We're going to just be able to blow these off with air since it's dry. But it is smoky, so I had to move it a ways out from the shop because I don't want all this stuff getting in the air and coming inside here. So I'm going to cut some of these parts out, and we'll give her a go and see what it does. Alright, I got everything that I need cut out here. Just a bunch of caps. Not a whole lot of stuff this week. We're going to get those thrown in and see what happens. So it's been running about an hour, and everything's coming out pretty clean, but it's not taking the mill scale all the way off. I don't know how long it actually has to run to get the mill scale off too. For the original setup with the regular rock, which is basically like what's on the ground here on the driveway, it was only taking about maybe 2.5 3 hours to get these caps down to complete bare metal with no mill scale whatsoever. So I probably think this coal slag is a little slower, but the thing is, I think on these more complicated parts it's going to work out better because the particles are a lot finer than using the gravel. I think the gravel's good as like a heavy abrasive to knock the big stuff off like the slag. But when it comes to running with this coal slag, I think if I put some more complicated parts in there where there's more shapes and not just two-dimensional flat pieces, that they're going to come out cleaner. So I'm going to run some parts here that I have for powder coating. I threw these parts in there, all these clamps I have to powder coat, and this coating was thick. I tried using aircraft remover. Nothing happened with the aircraft remover. It might have been powder coated already. I'm not positive. It even got down inside on there. But I ran them for maybe a full 10 hours to get to that point. Some of them are cleaner than others. Like this one's not one of the cleanest ones. There's some of them that are shiny all the way through and there's like no powder left on them whatsoever. So this is definitely a good option. It's just a slower option. So if I'm not in a hurry to get something cleaned up, it's going to be a lot better option for me to just throw them in the mixer with that coal slag and get them as clean as possible and then go do the fine touch up in the blast cabinet since it takes so long with my setup. Also, take a look at these. Look how clean these got. Like I said, they sat in there quite some time, but that's super clean. One thing I want to point out about using this coal slag as the media instead of just using regular old gravel and water is this is actually pretty clean. It's dusty, but when you take the parts out, you don't really have to clean them. I mean, if you didn't really want to blow them off, you probably don't have to unless they're complex parts. Like these flat parts, you just wipe them off. Done. It's pretty simple. Pretty nice. If you have a media recommendation you want to see me try, go ahead and drop a comment down below. Don't miss out on our giveaway at 3,500 subscribers. We're giving away an Yes Welder Cut 55 DS Pro plasma cutter, the new model with the full digital display and all that. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.